In my classroom at XIS Science is about critical thinking. We do a lot with science communication, and we solve lots and lots of problems that we get wrong the first time so we can reverse engineer the best answers possible.
Well, at XIS, I think one of the major aspects of XIS is the fact that we provide the inquiry-based learning, and we develop that through critical thinking, and we develop that through project-based learning. And one of the major things that I constantly foster within the science classroom is hands-on learning, looking at practical activities and looking at how we get the students to engage with everyday activities that are part of their learning.
So I develop critical thinking in our students by asking open-ended questions that encourage them to explore why and how things happen. I also have them design their own experiments, predict outcomes, and analyze the results carefully.
I think the students constantly talk about they want to come to the science, they are learning from the actual experiments that they constantly carry out throughout the week. We do at least one or two activities that encompass what we're doing, the actual learning. And each activity is designed so the student is able to not just look at the process of learning, but actually trying to develop their critical thinking. I want to get the students to understand that science goes beyond the classroom, and science doesn't begin in the classroom. Science is around you within every single day.
We always start with the practical things that no matter where you're from, you have some experience with, even in grade 9. And I get them to think about how the science applies, why what they see every day, why is that happening, why is that important? And I add the scientific vocabulary as we go on. Here's what we call it in scientific terms. Here's why knowing this is important. What else could we do with this information? What questions do you have about it?
I tend to get them to do some group work. I tend to get them to collaborate on projects. We've recently just had a presentation project. We're constantly designing these experiments where every single person has one particular strength and skill that they can develop on. And one of the activities that we're constantly looking at within that is how could we get the students within the group to rotate and take the leadership role, or perhaps take the reflective role, take the scribe, take the person with the skill, the most dexterity, and trying to develop that throughout the group as we change from one activity to the other.
I am giving students mini IAs. That is to prepare them for their IA later on. So they are practicing how to write IAs correctly, like how to write the research questions, how to analyze the results, how to write the correct methodologies.
Dr. Bell gave me a beautiful moleskin notebook last year around my birthday, and when I was a little girl I wanted to be a writer, and it's such a nice notebook that I said I should write some stories to be published. And so I started writing again, and so currently I'm reading a book by Stephen King called On Writing, because I want to be a better writer, and by Anne Lamott, talking about how she looks out in her garden and reflects on the process of writing. I hope to one day write my own book.